The year is 2050. The United States of America has imploded and is now the subject of an international incident. It's been 5 years since the bombing of Washington, D.C., which led to the deaths of over 300,000 people and triggered the final collapse of American infrastructure. Now, most of the country is just a radioactive wasteland, with only parts of the Northeast Corridor remaining habitable. And it's here where we meet our story's protagonist. Caleb is a young man from Philadelphia who lives in one of the few remaining apartment complexes in South Philly that still has power and running water. Most of the city is now just a collection of tents and shanties occupied by roving bands of desperate survivors. But Caleb doesn't have time to worry about any of that. He's got bigger problems, like his sick mother, who needs medicine fast. She is currently going blind from diabetic retinopathy, and the last of her medication is due to expire tomorrow. If she runs out, she could go completely blind or even die. So Caleb grabs his trusty hunting rifle and heads to the ruins of a CVS pharmacy in search of more supplies. He makes it all the way to the door before it's flung open and 2 armed men step out. They demand Caleb's food and water rations and threaten to kill him if he doesn't comply. But before Caleb can hand him over, a third man steps out of the store and shoots the 2 attackers dead. The newcomers introduce themselves as members of a new paramilitary force called the National Restoration Corps, tasked with securing what's left of the United States. Their leader, General Robert Clayton, offers Caleb a place in their organization, but Caleb refuses and tries to make his escape. However, he soon finds himself cornered by the NRC soldiers who have set up a blockade around the city. There is nowhere left for him to run. Caleb puts up a fight, but he's soon wounded and surrounded. Just as the soldiers close in for the kill, though, a large explosion rocks the city, followed by the sound of police and military vehicles. A heavily armed group of Black Ops soldiers arrives, and after a brief firefight, they eliminate the NRC troops and take Caleb into custody. They bring him before their commanding officer, a mysterious woman known only as Director X. She reveals that Caleb is actually the subject of a manhunt ever since his father, Dr. Jeremiah Crow, unleashed a deadly virus upon the American Midwest 2 years prior, killing hundreds of thousands of people and causing widespread gridlock. The U.S. government believes that Caleb possesses immunity to the virus, which could be the key to saving the country. Director X offers Caleb a choice: either join her unit and help save the country, or be executed for his father's crimes. Caleb agrees and is taken to a secret base where he meets the rest of the team. There is Sergeant Ava Stone, the de facto leader of the unit. Specialist Marcus Wright, the team's demolitions expert and medic. And Specialist Kenji Tu, the team's communications and tech expert. Together, they are Bravo Squad, the best of the best in an effort to save what's left of the United States. Their first mission: infiltrate a heavily guarded NRC facility and retrieve vital supplies that can help restore order to the country. This is going to be very difficult, as not only is the facility heavily guarded, but also crawling with infected people. These are people who have been infected with the Crow virus and somehow have retained their humanity. Director X explains that these people are highly dangerous and must be eliminated on sight. After a fierce firefight, Bravo Squad makes it through the facility undetected and manages to retrieve the supplies. As they make their escape, though, they are ambushed by a group of infected and barely manage to get away. With their mission compromised, Bravo Squad is forced to retreat without the supplies. Director X is furious and relieves them of duty, believing that they have all lost the will to fight. Caleb, however, is determined to prove her wrong and sets out on his own to steal the supplies from the NRC. He manages to infiltrate the building unnoticed and makes his way to the armory, where he discovers that the supplies have already been taken. Before he can leave, he is confronted by General Clayton, who reveals that he has been working with the NRC all along. Caleb is outnumbered and outgunned, but he manages to escape when he triggers an alarm, causing the entire facility to go into lockdown. As the doors begin to seal shut, Caleb makes a desperate dash for the exit. He jumps into his car and speeds away from the facility just as it explodes behind him. Back at base, Director X is furious when she learns that Caleb has stolen the supplies and is now on the run. She orders Bravo Squad to be reinstated and to hunt down Caleb and bring him back to base, dead or alive. Meanwhile, Caleb is making his way through the wasteland when he comes across a group of survivors. They are initially hostile, but Caleb convinces them to help him when he reveals that he has food and medical supplies. The group agrees to help Caleb in exchange for half of the supplies. Once they have everything they need, Caleb says his goodbyes and heads back to the road. As he is traveling, Caleb is ambushed by a pair of infected. He manages to kill them, but not before being bitten. Realizing that he is now infected, Caleb begins to panic. He knows that the virus is spreading through the bite, and he is afraid that he is going to turn into one of the infected. He pulls out his gun and prepares to take his own life. However, he is stopped when he hears a voice. The voice belongs to his father, Dr. Jeremiah Crow, who has somehow managed to survive the bombing of Washington, D.C. Dr. Crow explains that he created the virus as a last-ditch effort to save the country. He believed that by infecting the population, he could create a new world order based on equality and sustainability. However, things didn't go as planned, and the virus mutated, causing widespread gridlock and destruction. Dr. Crow reveals that there is a cure for the virus, but it requires a massive amount of resources to produce. Caleb is torn. On one hand, he wants to save himself, but on the other hand, he doesn't want to prolong the suffering of the people. In the end, he decides to find a cure for the virus. Caleb reaches out to Bravo Squad and informs them that he has the cure for the virus. He leads them to a secret lab where his father has been working, and they discover the cure. However, the NRC soldiers arrive and open fire on Bravo Squad. A fierce firefight ensues, and in the end, Bravo Squad is defeated. Caleb is captured by the NRC and taken before General Clayton. Clayton reveals that he has been working with the NRC the whole time, and that he intends to use the virus to create a new world order. Caleb tries to convince him to see reason, but Clayton is adamant. As he is about to execute Caleb, Dr. Crow arrives and reveals that he has the ability to cure the virus. Clayton hesitates, giving Caleb just enough time to draw his gun and shoot the general in the head. With the threat of the virus now neutralized, Bravo Squad emerges from the shadows and arrests the remaining NRC soldiers. In the aftermath, Dr. Crow is brought to justice and the United States begins to rebuild. Bravo Squad is disbanded and Caleb returns to his old life, but he will never forget what he saw. Guys, thanks for watching. Another episode of the year is 2050. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like and subscribe for more great science fiction stories. We've got some awesome stories coming up, including a crossover episode with a popular sci-fi channel, so be sure to stay tuned for more. Until next time, this is your host,